also love that there's no glass. It looks so. Have you ever played Bioshock, right? That's reminds me of like all the posters in that movie.
senior exhibition of the year, our last exhibition of the year, and we're so happy to cap it off with Sotelo's amazing exhibition. And it's been an interesting journey with Bear, because what do you do with a student that comes in with absurd technical ability already and doesn't really need much feedback in that regard? So I'd say what's been a real pleasure is just sort of all the other areas where you've sort of experienced growth and development beyond your technical ability, and actually the technical ability has just exploded too. So it's gone above and beyond my expectations, and I'm so proud of you. So thank you very much. So let's welcome Bear.
Thank you guys again so much for coming. It's so nice to see all of you here. Yeah, I'm really happy to see how it all came together. I mean, not to sound bad on myself, but I was nervous about like how it would all work together, but I mean, it's been nice. Yeah, it was kind of like from the start I've been doing the same thing, like just drawing creatures and playing on my love for animals and like mythical creatures and dragons, like ever since childhood, and like being inspired by video games and stuff. And I really like played into that, even though it didn't feel like that serious. But I'm really glad I stuck to it, yeah. And it's nice to see like works like this, which I made my freshman year, and then just like how I've been coming back to them and continuing it. It's really nice to see all the creatures in the world develop. Does anyone have any questions? Hopefully, possibly.
When did you do that one? Was that your latest, or?
It's not my latest, but I started it this semester. I'd say that the ones on the wall here are my latest works. Yeah.
What's the backstory behind that one?
Well, it's kind of like my love for animals and fascination of tigers. It's about, like, I was researching Sumatran tigers, which is like the only subspecies of tiger on this island. And they're like, I think they're the most endangered ones, but they're the smallest tiger subspecies, and because of like, that area is commercialized, they're like deforesting and which like leaves the tigers not a lot of prey and like areas to hunt. So they've been like going into farmers' land and eating their livestock and also eating people. So it's kind of like playing into seeing how there's like modern day dragons that we're hunting to extinction. So yeah.
What piece did you spend the most time on?
Definitely this one. Yeah, I really did start it my freshman year. I think it was second semester of my freshman year, and this is my 5th year here, so I spent quite a lot of time on it. And I mean, even I'll spend 6 hours on it, and even I can't tell like what I did, like stepping back, because I just keep like focusing on the face and the eyes, and just like adding more detail. Yeah, I really love how layered and built up it is.
Was that for a class?
No, that was just kind of for fun, really. So yeah, it's definitely the piece where I had the most fun. It was before I was even an art major, so no one was like critiquing me or telling me what to do. So it was just like without any fear of like anyone seeing it. I just went crazy. So yeah. Yes.
Do you feel like this world, like seeing it up like this, is speaking to you in a different way than like when it was just like in your head and in your art portfolio, like seeing everything actually up here together? You said you were worried about whether or not it would go together, and it clearly does, right? So I don't know, I wonder if you feel like you're at a point yet where you can sort of learn from the exhibition, learn from the work.
Yeah, definitely. Seeing it up just makes so much more sense than, because when I was working on the pieces, I'd see one at a time, and it's just nice to see them all connected. And other people have, like in senior seminar, they've helped me kind of like see it for myself and what I was trying to say, and like kind of seeing it as a world in different spots in time is cool, like a progression of the world. And yeah.
Do you have an idea of where the world's going to go next?
No, I do not. It's really like a loose world. I don't really know much about it, but I know it kind of all exists in the same like spot and same ideas, so I do consider it like the same world. But it just like comes to me in the moment, especially like when I draw these creatures. I don't really plan on making a specific character. So yeah, that's why the sketchbook and just drawing for fun is a really important process for me, as it is for like most artists. But it's just like where I can have fun and not like try to think ahead and make something like super deep that isn't what I'm trying to go for.
What's your second favorite animal? So you told me yours was a tiger.
Second favorite animal? It's gotta be a wolf.
Oh,
yeah.
I wonder how
So
right here.
disappointed. Where's the dragon?
Well, a dragon isn't an animal, so. I thought
It's a
like,
mythical creature.
yeah, I thought that was
I stand corrected. Why does that one have a background and none of the other ones really do?
well, it's kind of like the world is about kind of like oppression against animals and just creatures, kind of like a parallel to our own. But in each piece, well, in this one, there's a background because I consider this creature to be like fully free, and like that's why its eyes are looking forward, and it has like a lot of personality, I think. But it's like allowed to be in its own space where it can like change itself and its surroundings. So the ones like these ones back here again are kind of blank and plain because it's kind of like they're drones and they're not allowed to have control of themselves and stuff like that. Yeah?
So you said that the sketchbook process is important to any artist, which I agree with you. But I think your sketchbooks are special in particular because they're very detailed and they're very well researched. Can you talk a little bit more about your sketchbooks? Because I think they're so cool. How many do you have?
I have quite a few. I have big ones where I just scribble and big ones where I do nice drawings. And I have 2 other sketchbooks that aren't like pretty, but that one I would consider like its own work of art because since I got it, it was just like such a nice sketchbook and I loved just how it looked and I wanted it to like be a piece in itself. So every time I was drawing in there, like some stuff is like silly or goofy, but I was like treating them all pretty seriously and trying to explore ideas. Yeah.
I disagree with you. I think your other sketchbooks are really good. Really, really good.
Yeah.
I kind of have a follow-up question to that idea, that kind of split between like, this is high, this is low, this is serious, this is just for fun. Like, I feel like I've heard you do that a little bit less as you've sort of drawn more and more. Like, and I wonder if you sense that same relationship to drawing kind of changing. Like, I'm just thinking about like how essential play is for like little kids, for example. Like, and how they actually can't figure out the world very well without the opportunity to just play with stuff. And it's like, it's such a serious developmental process, play. And like, I wonder like if your own relationship to drawing has shifted as you've been drawing, like to be like, oh, actually, even the most quote unquote unserious sketch or doodle or whatever is actually quite important in terms of what it does to you and your own ability to process the world. I feel like I'm putting words in your mouth now. But, you know what I mean? I wonder if you like have sensed a shift over the 4 years that you've been drawing, or even a lifetime of drawing up to this point. Like, if your relationship to drawing has changed, because most of the work in the show, besides that one painting, is drawing. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've always drawn and doodled, but now I kind of like, I'll look back on my drawings and doodles and kind of like actually look at them for what they are, and like sometimes in class when I'm not paying attention, I'll doodle like mechanical parts and I'll kind of just like work through what I think mechanical parts would look like. And so I'm like, now I use drawing as like, just trying to, like you said, trying to figure the world out because I really don't know it for myself without letting myself just like kind of mindlessly draw things. But yeah, I have been taking my like doodles and creatures more seriously. Yeah, and I try to keep all my art now instead of throwing it away. Because like, if you make a drawing you think is bad, but then like years later, like months later, you actually drew something that you could imply into something else. So.
And that's great too, because not only is it a way to figure out the world, it's a way to figure out yourself.
Yeah.
in that world, you know. So I'm so glad that you're in.
I have a question. Can you talk a little bit about the frames and the modifications that you made on the frames on the wall?
Yeah. I kind of, for these ones, I thought of like, well, the idea had been thrown around of having a large mat around them so they had like their own room to breathe. And I was like thinking about that idea. And then I got these frames and like they fit the drawings just like perfectly, like no mat, like cut them off. And that kind of like really pushed the idea of like confinement that I was going for. Yeah, and like even like the spikes and the mechanical like parts on it, it's kind of implying on the idea that they're like embedded with parts that you can't see, and like, yeah, they're kind of like being controlled and such. yeah, but it was fun to also think about the frames like as part of the show and like play with them sculpturally, because I don't usually do sculptural stuff, but yeah, I think it really helped push the idea.
Why don't you sign any of them?
I mean, my name's right there. If I ever sold one, I'd write it on the back.
What a pro. And you'd archive it and photograph it really well.
Exactly.
Put it in your hard drive.
Already done.